Hey, everybody. Okay, so today I'm checking in, and a big part of my day has been focused around the topic of forgiveness, or not so much forgiveness, maybe forgiveness, but compassion, and having compassion for myself, which is something that is new to me, and really just honing in on the fact that when we are frustrated, because today I've been so frustrated, oh my golly, and it's just an accumulation. I can step back and say, okay, all of these things, have built up a sense of frustration, and that is my work to understand what the attachment is, what the expectations were, letting go, all of that is my work, right? And it's also my responsibility to convey to another person. I kind of look like alfalfa, okay? What is my responsibility is to convey to others, okay, hey, look, I'm not at a place, emotional capacity right now. I'm triggered, I'm in the middle of a trigger, so I need space. I need a little bit of compassion and understanding, and I will do the best that I can to tell you where I'm coming from and where my frustration is coming from. And if I have the capacity in this moment to handle what is happening right now, or if I need space. So it's my responsibility to recognize that. I get that. What I also recognize is I have so much more compassion for other people who are triggered. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. The last week has been filled with either me witnessing and experiencing other people being massively triggered, and me, what is my thoughts happening. And it's been so amazing because internally everything in me is observe, and so when somebody else would be triggered, I had nothing to say. It'd be like a brick wall, and God knows how frustrating that is, because that's happened to me before, and I'm just say something, because it's when you're looking for somebody else to say something, it's almost like you're needing a need to be fulfilled and feeling heard and safety and all those things. So it's just been this crazy experience of other people being triggered and me being on the other side of that and witnessing energetically what's happening and what I'm feeling. It's been such a gift, and it's emotional, right? But then also me being triggered on the other side of that, and somebody just and then the person on the other end just not having a care in the world. And it's where is this communication differencing, and then how are we bridging that gap? How are we advocating for ourselves? Where are we speaking and communicating to be listen, this is my perspective, this is your perspective, how can we meet in the middle to understand better, right? And support one another. And then it's are we taking actionable steps to want to understand the other person or not? And so what that really made me feel a lot today was it's so important to have compassion for somebody when they're triggered, because we don't know what's going on in their life. We have no idea. For example, I have this gorgeous little houseboat. It's so cute, and I'm getting ready to rent it. Well, I gave myself what I thought was enough time to fix everything inside. I was wrong, because when one thing goes, everything goes, and it became this gigantic, way bigger, crazy puzzle than I had ever anticipated, right? So my tenant is moving in 2 days, and not like, it's not complete at all. And I, just letting it go and allowing things to happen and unfold the way that they're going to unfold. But it is creating a little bit of anxiety and frustration and, like feeling a little triggered at times when one thing after another, like, are dominoing. So I had to move my boat to a different area, which wasn't ideal. I was in a great spot before, but because of, circumstances where I needed more power, there was a box that had more power in a different area. Obviously, people who've been there for a long time were like, they asked me to simply move my boat a couple of feet, which totally triggered me for my own reasons. And that's the thing. Today I was just like, wow, I recognize that they don't understand the context of what I have been dealing with and where my boat is located and what's been going on inside of me. They simply asked me a question and made a case that makes total sense, absolute sense, right? For me, I immediately got triggered and I recognized that I cannot talk to these people in the state that I'm in at all. To them, they see a problem and they were reaching out to solve it, like problem solution, right? So then I realized today just how important it was to, one, have emotional self-control and regularity, right, within yourself, to say, okay, I'm not at a capacity to talk to this person right now because I understand that I'm triggered and this is why, and it has nothing to do with them because they don't know. But then on the other side of it, I was thinking, like, I know that I would consider myself a level-headed person that considers all options and wants to be a great neighbor, right? Like a great friend, a great community member, like talk to people with respect. But sometimes even the most outstanding citizen in the world, God knows I am not that one, has tough times. And it's so important to meet each other with compassion. And I feel like the greatest thing is when somebody is triggered, when somebody is upset, regardless of what we think, regardless of what our story is, what our side of the thing, the topic is, if we say something and somebody gets so upset, or if we're experiencing somebody in the midst of just like being so upset, just simply ask if they're okay. But from a genuine space of like, not judging, but like in a nurturing way of like, is everything okay? Like, I genuinely want to know that you're okay. Not what's wrong with you, because then that's implying judgment that they're not allowed to be feeling the way that they're feeling. And so when I feel like we can bring compassion into the world for each other, for ourselves, to say like, I'm upset and it's okay for me to be upset, But even looking to our neighbor, looking to our friend, looking to our partner, looking to anybody who just, maybe we said something, even at work or something, even if it's not what we meant, we have to start to practice having humility and conversating, and being like, hey, are you okay? Was it something that I said? What is the story that you're telling yourself? This is huge for me, and hopefully it could be huge for somebody else. When I'm upset, I read this somewhere, I forget. I think it was like an elephant journal thing, but somebody wrote down like, what is the story that I'm telling myself? And that was so huge for me because it separates blame, right? So it's not like this person did this thing and they said this, and yeah, they did say those things, but like, what is the context, the story that we are telling ourselves, the line of events that brought us to that conclusion? And if we can convey that story, right? Like, it's a legit story. It's one that you believe. It got you emotionally charged. So what's important is to like recognize that that was a story you told yourself. Tell that to the person that you care about, depending on the context, right? If it's like a relationship, like say, hey, this is the story that I was telling myself. And then give them space to like respond to that, right? So it's making sure that you are emotionally aware, but then you're also talking with other people who are also emotionally aware, because if two people are just triggering each other, that also doesn't help. So bring in compassion, please. Have compassion for yourself and others, and I hope you have a wonderful, gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day today. Just got to work. Love you guys.